Hey everybody, Matty Ice here, and in today's video I'm going to take you through the new Spire of the Watcher dungeon, showing you every encounter, every collectible, and each secret chest. Before I go any further though, I would really appreciate it if you could like this video and subscribe to the channel. It's free for you to do and it really helps support and grow the channel. Now getting back to the dungeon, the opening area introduces you to the mechanic that persists throughout this entire dungeon. After killing the Vex Minotaur, they drop what looks like an arc pool on the ground, but instead of damaging you, this pool gives you a 30-second buff called Arctrition. While this buff is active, you're able to shoot various nodes and energize them. In order to progress, you need to energize the 4 nodes that are in the center of the arena in the proper order. You are able to identify the starting node by either tracing back the line from the endpoint until you get to the very first one, or you can just look around the entire map for the node that has arrows next to it. After energizing the starting node, you'll need to trace the line to the next node in the sequence and energize it. If done correctly, the yellow line leading from the previous node will turn blue, and your buff timer will increase by 5 seconds. Repeat this until you've gotten to the end and you'll see a message that you've completed the circuit. Do not be afraid to shoot nodes at random, as there's no penalty for shooting a node out of sequence, and once you've activated all 4 nodes in the middle, all the enemies despawn and you can proceed into the dungeon. Once you've carefully made your way down the shaft, you can find the first collectible by jumping onto the platform that's up and to the right if you're facing straight ahead of you from your descent. Collect this and then jump across to the other side to continue progressing through the dungeon. The next collectible is as soon as you enter the Ishtar Chronoscopic Analysis area. This is immediately after traveling through the second of the red tunnels in the area where there's several little drop downs. Go to the door on your left, drop underneath the platform, and you should see the second collectible. Now, the third collectible and the first secret chest are next to each other, so when you get to the open platforming area, when you need to jump across several hanging structures, make your way to the last floating platform, and where you see a bunch of these Vex Harpies spawn, you need to make your way to that platform. If that jump is too far for you, simply make your way to the platform down below on the pillar. This is the way that you're normally supposed to go to progress, and from here you can make your way up and around the pillar. It's easier to go across the back side of this pillar as there's a platform halfway, but you can make your way across in one jump either way. Once on the other side, the collectible is directly in front of you. Continuing immediately from the third collectible, jump to the other side and there's a platform with the chest on the outside of this other pillar. Be sure you've already gotten loot before you open this chest, otherwise you'll get nothing from it. The fourth collectible is right before you exit this platforming area, and you can spot it before jumping down. When you get to the elevator, jump to the platform that's on your left to collect this one. Number 5 is directly before the first encounter. At the rally flag location, simply turn around, and in the computer bay you can find the 5th collectible. Now onto the first encounter. This encounter is essentially the opening area again, just reinforcing the mechanic of the dungeon. Work your way around the outside until you find a Minotaur. Killing him starts this encounter. On the same platform are the starting points for the circuits you need to complete. Just work your way around, shooting the nodes as you progress just like you did for the entrance, and once you've completed the 2 circuits, an elevator appears to take you up to the next floor. This encounter has 3 floors, each one having the same process, just getting more and more dangerous. Starting at the 2nd floor, you'll see some arc energy that can deal a lot of damage to you if you get too close. But again, just follow the lines, energize all the nodes, and move on. Once you've completed all 3 floors, there will be a passage to progress just over the chest, and you'll make your way to your next collectible. The 6th and final collectible is just before the second encounter, when you find yourself in a big open glass-lined room. Directly opposite of the side of the hole which you came out of, you can find this collectible. It's under one of these big blue lights, so if you're having difficulty, just look for those. The second encounter is a boss similar to the one you can find in the Garden of Salvation, and be sure to give this boss proper distance as you're making your way up, as it's very easy to start this encounter before you rally. Once again, you're doing the same node mechanic. Find and kill a Minotaur, energize all 4 starting nodes in the middle of the arena, and then you need to energize all the nodes on the 4 platforms, ending at a fuel rod. You know you've done it properly when you see the message fuel rod activated and the blue column descends into the platform. After you've activated the 4th fuel rod, the boss will make its way to whatever fuel rod was just finished, so you can do the platforms in any order. Once in front of you, the boss will show you its eyes. Break these eyes as quickly as possible to start damage. Once all the eyes are broken, the boss will start to travel back to the center of the platform, and you can do damage the second you've broken the last eye. While moving to the center, the boss will charge up and prepare to push you back. This pushback attack can kill you if you're too close, it can push you off the map, and it can physics you into the terrain. The best way to avoid being killed by this attack is to drop under the platform and stay in the center. You avoid any of the effect of the attack, and then you just rinse and repeat as many times as necessary for you to kill this boss. A few notes about this boss though. Witherhoard does not seem to stick to it. It's very easy to thunder crash through the boss, so always aim for the crit spot when you're doing your super, and it seems that fusion rifles do a very good job at breaking the eyes, so keep that in mind for your loadouts. Make your way under the chest to continue on to what I call Mechanic 2.0. This is the same as before, except the lines coming from the nodes are now red, indicating the change. You need to activate all 5 nodes within a few seconds to complete the circuit. These nodes connect to a central point rather than each other, so again, trace the lines to find the node. Once you have your attrition buff, find a good vantage spot and shoot them all as quickly as you can. There are 3 floors of this with a spinning, flawless ruining fan blade section between them. Once you get to the 3rd room, you'll be surrounded by arc energy. The nodes in this room are on each outer wall and 1 in the central area. After completing the nodes, the enemies will all despawn and you can find the 2nd secret chest. The chest is hidden under the stairs, so check each of the stairs for a grate that you can break that reveals a hole. After getting this chest, you're on your way to the final boss. The final boss combines the 2 different node mechanics that you've learned throughout this dungeon. Once you start the encounter, 2 hydras will spawn along with some adds and some supplicants. Kill these hydras while avoiding getting blown up by the supplicants in order to get the 2 minotaurs to spawn, one on either side of the room. Once you have the attrition buff, you need to activate all of the 5 red line nodes in order to get the doors to open. Once you've finished with the red nodes, 2 of the 4 yellow line nodes will open and will need to be activated. Find these 2 nodes and complete the circuits leading from the starting room to the boss chamber. After you've completed the 2nd yellow circuit, a message saying the reactor core purge is armed and you need to find cover will appear. Make your way back to the starting room and reactivate the red line nodes to close the doors. The resulting explosion will make the boss vulnerable for a short time, so begin damage. Rinse and repeat until dead. A few notes on this boss. While you can quickly rush to activate the yellow nodes, you need to make sure that the boss is in the reactor room when you finish the 2nd circuit, otherwise the damage phase never starts, the 2 hydras will respawn, and the whole phase has to start over. Also, if you fail to shoot the 5 red nodes, the boss deactivates the reactor, and damage phase is skipped, again restarting the phase. I recommend using rockets, Xenophage, Witherhoard for this encounter. It all depends on your team composition. But with that, you should successfully have completed the Spire of the Watcher dungeon, and you're on your way to getting that new exotic bow. Again, if you found this video helpful, I would greatly appreciate it if you could like and subscribe. As always, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.